one crew, one craft. For decades, that's been the paradigm of air combat, but paradigms are shifting. Future fights will be some of the fiercest pilots I've ever faced, so the U.S. Air Force wants to help out its pilots by creating more crewless craft like this Fury.
So Fury is a conventional takeoff and landing aircraft. We are looking to use minimal runway as possible to provide the maximum amount of options for all of our areas that we may want to fly.
Andrew von Timmerman, call sign SCAR, is a retired Air Force fighter pilot and current director of air dominance systems at Anduril. The company was one of nearly 200 vendors at the Air and Space Forces Association's Air, Space, and Cyber 2023 conference in National Harbor, Maryland. In addition to the half-scale model Fury on display, Kratos had a full-size model of its XQ-58 Valkyrie.
So really, it is a fighter-like performance. If you want to think of it as an F-35 without a pilot in it, that's what you've got. It's got a bomb bay, you can put weapons on the wingtips or on the wings themselves, and take that fight to the enemy if you need to.
Both the Fury and the Valkyrie are candidates in the U.S. military's Collaborative Combat Aircraft, or CCA, program. The goal is to create thousands of highly capable robotic wingmen quickly, and do it all for a fraction of the cost of traditional fighter jets. The price of a new F-35 is well north of $100 million.
We've kept continuous competition across the mission systems, across the autonomy space, as well as across the air vehicle space.
Brigadier General Dale White is the Program Executive Officer for the Fighters and Advanced Aircraft for the Air Force. It's his job to make sure the CCA program is a success.
If you walk the floor at AFA, I think it's pretty clear to see there is a wide variation between vehicles, sizes, weights, and things of that nature.
Variations in the design often equate to variations in fielding as well, so let's take a look at just how the Fury and the Valkyrie stack up. For starters, Fury is still under development, while the Valkyrie was the first and, as of the publishing of this video, still only CCA candidate flying in the real world.
It is awesome. Right? It's changing the game right now with the Air Force and with the Marine Corps. This is the way that you get more mass to the fight. It's survivable and it's ready today.
Now, just because Fury has not flown doesn't mean its designers don't have big plans for it. Fury will still deliver fighter-like performance, and it will do so with a single commercially available jet engine. That helps make maintenance easier and keeps costs down. The Fury and Valkyrie both adhere to the DoD's open architecture mandate, so they can be kitted out with all sorts of different tech, depending on the mission.
So that could include radar, include jamming, it could be IR. It really is anything that you have that's available on an existing aircraft. We want to be able to provide as much plug-and-play utility out of the vehicle so that we can, again, provide those different mission sets to whatever the commander needs at that day.
As we heard earlier, Fury will need a runway to take off and land, albeit a much shorter runway. The Valkyrie uses a turbofan engine to launch off the back of a trailer. It can be recovered under a parachute once the mission is over.
So you can put these anywhere. We normally put them in a shipping container, take the wings off, put it in the back of a shipping container. It's all self-contained. You drop it either near the rest of the runway or you can drop it in a forward operating base somewhere. Open it up, 2 men, slide out the rail, put the wings on with a couple of bolts, and then it launches with all the weapons on it.
The Valkyrie can carry up to 4 small diameter bombs or similar sized munitions in its bomb bay. Its wing stations can also hold lethal payloads. Fury won't carry kinetic weapons. As Scar mentioned earlier, its payload is primarily a suite of sensors and electronic warfare systems. Fury and Valkyrie, like all CCA candidates, will be piloted by artificial intelligence. Anduril uses its Lattice for mission autonomy software. The company has been perfecting the technology for several years now, including in the Air Force's Project Venom initiative, which puts AI agents in charge of modified F-16s while human pilots essentially observe in the cockpit. Kratos and Shield AI announced the two companies will collaborate to put Shield AI's HiveMind into the Valkyrie. I've reported before on HiveMind, which is touted as the world's best AI pilot. And while CCAs may not have human pilots, rest assured, humans will still be giving the orders.
I think what we really can use these air vehicles for is We can have somebody remove themselves from inside of the loop and go to on the loop. What do I mean by that? When you are inside the loop, think about a man or a woman, a person inside the cockpit. They're in charge of the stick and the throttle and every decision that's made inside the aircraft. When you go onto the loop, you have one person that could be in charge of maybe many of these air vehicles, and they may have sensors, they may just be flying around to draw attention. There are a number of different use cases you can have in advanced autonomy enables that.
Well, the Air Force wants to eventually select a single contractor to build its collaborative combat aircraft. Because of the open architecture nature of the design process, the final craft may contain components and kit from several different suppliers. We shouldn't have to wait too long either to find out who those suppliers are. The Pentagon wants thousands of CCAs airborne by 2027, when some think China may invade Taiwan.
Thanks for watching. In this time of media mistrust, Straight Arrow News is on a mission to bring you unbiased, fact-based reporting. So like and subscribe to Straight Arrow News below. And to see all of our content, go to straightarrownews.com.